Hamilton, hey, congratulations for the kid documentary.
Thank you, Gig. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, more to the point, congratulations for having this showcase at Tribeca. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good, man. It's an honor to be premiering a New York film at a New York Film Festival. So it's nice.
Absolutely. You do want to show at least these films in your own backyard. That's always a primary.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with the easy question, Hamilton. What sparked you to do this documentary on a subject that, we're talking about years and years ago?
The spark for me came after Harold passed in 2006. And then maybe 3 months later, I just was procrastinating because I was still traumatized, had my own traumas, and something just was permeating within me to like share my own perspective of that experience, being from the inside, after losing so many people and, starting a family and evolve and trying to grow and trying to heal. And I felt like, I don't want to say our story was never told, or it was told from outsiders. But I knew how powerful the connection that we had as a group, and especially Harold and Justin, and what I learned. It felt for me as a duty, not only for my own self-healing, but also to shed some light as to why they ended up that way and where that comes from. You know what I mean? And more or less so that others can reflect and see, maybe some kid watches the film and is like, yo, I'm Justin, or I'm Harold, or I'm Priscilla, or Ronald, or one of the other subjects in the film. And they have the moment to make that change. You know what I mean? Whereas whatever strength was in me gave me the strength to make the change and to heal. They unfortunately, they chose a different direction, and that the power of choice, being accountable, those two were extremely accountable. But if we don't have any backstory, then it seems like, like in the film, we say, Justin's legacy to the world is the guy who hung himself at the hotel. I was the guy who died from a cocaine overdose. And it's like, yeah, but how do you get to that? That's important to know about, you know what I mean? Because then it's not just like all these degenerates, they got famous, they didn't know what to do with it. Yeah, but how do you know what to do when you don't have the foundation to support you, to guide you,
That's absolutely true. You brought in a lot of fellow friends from the original film into this documentary. How did you track them down, and was it easy to convince them to be part of it?
Well, I'm in touch with all of them. I mean, we definitely have evolved in our own lives. I no longer live in the U.S. I live in the Netherlands. So everyone was supportive, but as we started to go through the process, it's like reliving those traumas, which a lot of people didn't want to deal with no more, which I understand, but also the perspective that I was sharing it from was my perspective within this community. You know what I mean? It's still, my perspective, but I wasn't alone. No one's alone in the community. You know what I mean? So, making it more inclusive than exclusive, because that's what at the time I experienced and I expressed from kids. It was exclusive. You know what I mean? At certain levels and in the process, and I wanted this to be, it's not that I wanted, it had to be inclusive. It was not what I wanted it to be. It's just what it had to be, or it wouldn't have it wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have, well, I don't know how it turned out with people, but so far, people who have seen it can relate and can connect as humans. And that's important, because although Justin and Harold are no longer here, they're human beings. Human beings go through things and process things. Their free will, and there is no right or wrong. It's just, again, you and I, whoever's watching this, can make changes right now. We could say, nah, let me not do that, or let me fix this mistake here, you know? And they can't anymore. So, you know, I wanted people to see that what we would consider as a mistake is not a mistake. It's just an experience, you know? So.
Yeah. Now, Larry and Harmony didn't participate in your documentary, which is, you know, that's a shame. But do you have any resentment against them, or do you understand where they came from?
100%. I totally understand where they're coming from. I also have no resentment, because, again, it's back to free will. They will not to partake in it. I will to partake in kids. I will. Whether you're with me or you're not, it's your choice, right? Did I reach out to them? Multiple times, you know? But they will not to follow through. Fine. On the flip side of it, when I embarked on this journey, I knew intuitively that that's not the story people wanted to hear. We already heard that story. We already know about Larry and Harmony and Rosario and Chloe, and this is not taking anything away from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I knew intuitively that everything was there that was needed to make a compelling story about a human experience. Within that, without the celebrity, you know? Did we not try to get the celebrity involved? Of course, because it was inclusive, but people excluded themselves, and that's fine too, right? No problem, but we had to keep moving forward. I had to keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, I knew that the connection that we had as a group, and still some of us have, that's a human experience. That's what people need to see. People need, that's important, you know? That's more important than who's who and, you know, this small elite crowd, which exists and it's fine. I'm not judging it. It's just, yeah, I have no resentments towards any of them. And I was hoping they would partake in it, but they chose not to. And so be it.
Excellent. Well, let me wrap it up with one more thing, Hamilton.
Sure.
When viewers actually get a chance to watch your documentary, what is the one most important take that you hope that they walk away with?
I hope that they take away, after watching the film, that they can self-reflect and see themselves as another cast member, and have the ability to understand their own experience, their own personal experience and their own personal journey, and can reflect on others with understanding, with compassion, you know what I mean? With love, you know? And that, I feel like, really helps the whole, you know, with, like, you know, all this trauma that's happening globally. It's like, the only way it can be restored is each of us have to do our part, you know? And it's not easy, you know? It wasn't easy for me to do this, but I did it. And I feel so much more relieved. And I hope other people can take something from this and free themselves, so then that we're all, you know, at the end of the day, we're all the same. You know what I mean, Gag? There's no hierarchy, and you get it.
I get it. I get it. Well, Hamilton, hey, thank you very much for making this documentary. It's very enlightening and eye-opening for some of us who are not familiar. So thank you, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Gig. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.